Hi, I'm Tom. If you want to learn more about me and how my journey began, please check out my first video on YouTube entitled The Ladder. But here's a new video as my journey continues. I've made some more art and I hope you enjoy. Oh, shout out to my amazing wife. She's my biggest supporter and literally why I'm here today. So enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. I got to tell you, I've had a hard time starting this video. I don't know, I've been very clouded and I want it to be right. And I've been so excited to make it because once I made the other video of how I got here, I couldn't wait to share the actual things I did to get here. So the first video was really more emotional, and but I got here through the help of you know my wife, a couple of friends gave me some pointers, and I thought, once I told you that I was here, I wanted to tell you how I got here. And so I like I said, I've tried this to start this video a couple of times, and I guess I was just nervous. The little weight was on me, and I'm going to try something different now. I'm going to say a prayer. And I'm still not I'm getting more comfortable praying, but asking God to help me when I'm having a hard time. I'm still not sure exactly how to do that. So I'm going to try it now because I really want to make this video. I feel it's important and it kind of goes along with my other video. And I want anyone who has watched it to and wants to know, okay, great, that's what I want. What do I do now? And that's what this video is for. So I need to say a prayer first. I need to get my nerves under control, and then we'll see if we can get through it this time. Heavenly Father, thank you for another beautiful day. Thank you for our many blessings. Thank you for being close to us wherever we look, wherever we go, we can see you, we can feel you all around us. Lord, today I ask that you help me. I want to say my heart. I want to pass on what I've learned so far, and I've just been so tongue-tied and so clouded. And I just want you to clear that away. I want you to push it behind me, and I want to find the wisdom to pass on what I've learned, and I hope to reach out to somebody, help bring them closer to you. And it's a lot of weight on me to do that, and I would like for you to lift it just for a few minutes so that I can make that happen. And I pray for this in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you. So, it's prayers don't always come out eloquently. Sometimes they're a little, uh, twisted up. The words don't always come out perfect. So just keep talking, and what's in your heart will come out. And God knows what you're asking for. Anyway, the words are really for you to make it real. So just keep talking. So I'm going to show you the sculpture first that you're watching me make. It's I I woke up one morning and I had this in my mind. It was early, and my wife will tell you I just popped right up out of bed, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "I have to go. I got something in my head I got to make." And it's actually the third sculpture that I made, and I'm going to show it to you. But I was remembering how hard it was for me to get into the Bible, what a struggle it was, and how intimidating it was to me. And so it helped me to make it because I felt like I was climbing a hill, basically, and I needed help. And I asked for help. That's one time I did, and I made I just pictured myself climbing these stairs, and I couldn't make it. And I just pictured Jesus on top helping me up. And anytime I'm struggling with the Bible, this is what I picture. I picture him there. When it's a hill like this, and it's not always going to be that way, just ask for a little help. He's there, and he's the prize. He's the prize at the top of the hill. And you'll see the end result of this at the end of the video. But I have this sitting here, and I named it The Steps because it takes a lot to get to the top of this. Not just the actual steps, but the intention. So you have to have intention. If you don't have that, you're just spinning your wheels. So have intention to get to the top. If the step is too big, just ask for help. And that's what I have here. So I want to just jump right in. Like I said, I've started this video a couple times. I'm just going to tell you what I ended up doing and how I got here. And if I can teach you something that I've learned along the way, great. But there are a bunch of apps. That's really the first thing I would do is I probably downloaded 8. They weren't all right for me. The one that I found that was the best for me, and I would highly recommend, it is awesome. It's called Through the Word, and it's free. I'm going to show you what it looks like. But you download the app, and straight away what you need to do, this is what it looks like. Let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. Anyhow, there you can read anything in there that you want, any of the books of the Bible, but for me, I didn't know what to do. So I started their Bible journey from number 1, right at the top of the app. It says start, and go, just start there. What I do is I listen to it when I'm walking. I listen to it in the car. I have a 30-minute drive to work, but even if you had a 5-minute drive to work, most of the studies are one chapter at a time, and they have a commentary, and the commentary is gold. And you'll find out if you start it. Just listen, and that's where I would start. That's where I started. And man, it's really the reason why I've gotten this far, because it opened my eyes to the rest of the Bible, and it encouraged me to purchase my own Bible. And actually, my wife purchased it for me, but since then I've bought another one, and they're both different versions, but I'm going to show you what they are. This is called this is the next thing I would do, is I would go right straight to Amazon and I would order one of these. It is a Life Application Study Bible, and it's the NLT version, okay? So that stands for New Living Translation, and it's basically a thought-for-thought translation of the Bible. What that means is that they prioritize the meaning and intent of the words instead of the literal translation, because sometimes that can be a little awkward to read, especially when we're used to reading things the way they flow. Some of the older translations are beautiful, and what I remember from church, some of the verses are different, the way they're written. But I especially needed to really dive into it. And this Bible, not only is it easy to read, but at the bottom of each page, there are notes. And the life application part of this, and the study Bible, it applies it to your life in modern thought. So for instance, This is Psalm 23. The first verse of Psalm 23 is, "The Lord is my shepherd." Down here, so if you want to, what does he mean by shepherd? You can come down here and it says how David, who wrote the psalm, what he meant by that. And this is, and it gives you really a good explanation. So it really puts some context in. And when you start to read this, wherever you start it, and we'll talk about that for a second in just a minute, but wherever you start it, use that at the bottom. They have other little things that like notes on the side that can refer you to other parts of the Bible. Don't stress about all that. We're just trying to get into this right now. I was flipping back and forth, and I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to learn everything right out the gate. Really, you just gotta start somewhere. If you just open it once a day and read one chapter of any book, that's a great start. But if you follow the journey and through the Word, and maybe follow along in the Bible at the same time, you're going to be ages ahead of where I was at that time. So I was just listening to the Word, which is great. It was getting me into it, but I really wasn't absorbing it a lot because I wasn't putting my eyes on it. So where I am now in the journey, I'm on the fourth journey. I don't really recall the beginning. It's just a little too much. So don't let that get you down. I just think that if you start there, follow along. I'm going to give you some pointers on what you can do daily, and you need to do it daily. But don't try to finish this thing in a year. Look at this. This is 3,000 some odd pages of, how many pages is it? Yeah, 20 something hundred pages. To put the pressure on yourself to finish it in a year, it's a little too much. So I was doing that. I was like, I got to finish this thing in a year. That's what everybody's doing. No, back it up. If you do the through the Word journey, basically one chapter a day, it's going to take you 4.5 years. 2 chapters a day, you cut that in half. That's pretty much what I do. So if you, for a 30-minute ride or a 30-minute walk, I'm going to get through 2 chapters, including the commentary and the reading of the Word together. So, and sometimes I'll re-listen to the Word again after the commentary. So I'll listen to the Bible, I'll listen to the commentary, then I'll listen to it again. And you can set it to however you want. I'm going to show you a little trick too. So when you do your journey, I'm going to show you where I am. I'm on 1 Peter right now. Okay, so you can actually change the speed. Again, I don't know how to make it so you can see it, but at the bottom there's some settings, and I changed the speed so that it's, I don't know if it's cheating or not, so that you can listen to it a little faster. So I bumped it up to 1.25, and so it's right here at the bottom. You can also change what version you listen to. So I listen to the NIV version. That's the New International version, and that is a little more closer to the more standard versions that you might be used to. So it's kind of a blend between more thought to thought and more thought for thought and more word for word. So it's a little bit closer to the thought for thought, but it's a little more familiar, and it's also the most popular. When I go to church, that's what they use. So mostly, so I like to have it. The other thing I would do is I would download this app. It's called the Blue Letter Bible. Okay, it looks like that. So when I'm reading, so I don't typically carry my Bible with me to church. I carry this app. And when he reads, I pull it up, because what I can do, and I'm going to show you, you can download different versions. So if you like the NLT or you like the NIV, you can set it so that version is on one side, and then a more standard version, or whatever I want to say, like say you like the King James, you like to see the comparison between the two. You can see them at the same time. So I'm reading the NIV as there, but if I want to remember, like I'll use this as an example. So this is again on Psalm 23. The King James version says, "The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want." The NIV version is, "The Lord is my shepherd; I lack nothing." So it's just becomes a more familiar, and then I'll show you the NLT. "The Lord is my shepherd; I have all that I need." So it gets you to the same spot, but it's a little more familiar, a little easier to read. We'll go down to the famous verse. "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." That's the King James. The NLT. "Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you're close beside me." King James says, "Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." This one, "Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me." So again, it's whatever your preference is. I personally think that if you were to buy this Life Application Study Bible NLT version, you can't lose. You'll become familiar with it. You'll read it. It'll be easier to read. It'll get in here a lot easier. You'll comprehend it. And then I would order one of these. This is a study Bible. This is not the Life Application version. This is just a study Bible. But again, it has the footnotes at the bottom. They're a little less thorough than the footnotes in this one, but it's good. And so when I'm just trying to read it and comprehend, I read this one. I save this one for when I go to class, the Bible class, or to church. If I do bring it, this is the one I bring, because it's a little closer to the literal translation. Okay, so where would you start? Through the Word app starts actually in a gospel. It starts with Mark. So what I do, okay, I follow my journey, and religiously I follow it, and it's going through some Old Testament, some New Testament. It's grouping them together in different study groups. So, but I'm interested in the Gospels. So in the morning when I'm walking or I ride to work, I listen to through the Word. In the evenings, if I really want to read, or if I have time during the day, I stay with the Gospels. I mean, you just start with page 1 of the New Testament, Matthew. Work your way through Mark, Luke, and then John, and start back on Matthew again. That's kind of where you want to be for the first part, because when you start to read the New Testament or the Old Testament, you're going to start to see, once you understand Jesus and what he did for us, the whole basis for what we believe is in those books. You're going to start to see some of that in the Old Testament too, and some foreshadowing, some prophecy, and that's gonna really bring the Old Testament into your heart as well. And I love some of these books, Genesis especially. Who knew Genesis was so good? Really, who knew what Exodus 2? The story of Moses. I mean, you're going to find all these things in there, and you're just going to love the stories. So, but having that basis with Jesus is a great place to start. So, another little nugget. The first thing I do when I wake up, after I do my morning particulars and make me some coffee, is I read a proverb. And what's great about the Proverbs are there's 31 of them. And just coincidentally, that's usually how many days there are in the month. So if it's May 16th, Proverbs 16 it is. Okay? You just do that regularly. You start to get into the habit of opening the book. You start to, and this is my third month of doing it. So I'm already getting back through them again for the third time. And, they're already pretty repetitive, but they make such great, they stick with you for the day. And you will find these beautiful passages that just will touch you. And every now and then one's going to jump out at you. And I want that for you. So let's recap. You're going to order one of these, okay? You're going to download 2 apps. You're going to download Through the Word. You're going to download the Blue Letter Bible. And you're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to say a little prayer. You're going to say, Lord, bless this day. Bless this word that I'm about to read. Bring it into my heart. And let me walk the path that you would have me walk. Just say that every morning. Read the proverb. If you have time after that, just read a couple of words from Matthew, okay? If you do this every day, it's going to become a habit. And that word that you read from Matthew is going to start to become 2 words from Matthew. Then it's going to be, I can't wait to get to Mark. And then it's going to be Luke. And you're going to find out when you read this that they're going to tell you about these people. And then you're going to find out about Acts. And you're going to find out that Luke also wrote Acts. And you're going to want to know what happens after Jesus' resurrection. And that's where I am right now. I'm just early in this journey. And I'm just starting to retain some of this stuff. And it's just, who knew how great this book is? I mean, there's things in it I don't understand. There's things in it that are a little old, thinking, but it's all in context and it's all from God. And just give it a try. Just start small. Don't put the pressure on yourself that you got to remember and be able to preach this from the corner. You don't have to do that. This is for you, okay? This is not for you to prove yourself. This is for you. And if you just approach it that way, I'm telling you, it's going to speak to you. You can almost, this morning it happened to me. It's crazy how it happens. I was just talking to my friend yesterday. I was struggling a little bit. And he's like, you know what? When you're struggling and you're having a little trouble, just open it to wherever, and almost always it's going to speak to you. Well, it wasn't me opening this, but it was me listening to my app, and it jumped straight to 1 Peter. It just was coincidentally, that was the next thing I was supposed to listen to. And it's about suffering and just the purpose and God, and oh my gosh, it was perfect for me. So he was exactly right. It's going to happen to you. You're going to find these passages that speak to you and that they're going to inspire you. They inspired me. They inspired this. So here I am. I'm looking at the clock. I'm stressing out because I promised myself I would make this shorter, and I did not. I'm not going to apologize. I'm just not. It just is what it is. I could probably talk another hour. I probably didn't cover anything that I wrote down that I wanted to cover, but one more thing, and I wanted to mention. So you're gonna download. You're gonna order. You're gonna read. 10 minutes in the morning. That's it. That's all it takes. And go to church. I wouldn't have said that 6 months ago, or probably even 3 months ago. I would have thought, as long as you're with God, it's okay. I'm telling you what church has meant to me lately. It's through this that got me there. And now I love going and listening to them talk about things that I've read and I've understood. And they put new context to it. They put new learning to it. So things that you might read might just blow right past you. When they talk about it, it brings it to life. And if you don't have a church, ask a friend. If you don't know anybody to ask, you can come with us. I would love to have you. I go to Glad Tidings Church in Morehead City. It starts at 10 o'clock Sundays. Look for me. I'm going to be there. And I'd love for you to come. Other than that, say a little prayer when you go to sleep. Talking to God, it might seem awkward at first, but you can do it. I did it. I wasn't doing it, but I am now. And it's one of the best parts of my day. And I want that for you too. Well, thanks for listening. I hope you learned something. I hope you open this up. And I hope you get the feelings from it that I do. It's a great feeling. Thank you so much. I mentioned earlier that I had woke up really early one morning with this sculpture on my mind. I pictured someone trying to climb the Bible and Jesus helping them up. And this is how it turned out. You can see a man clearly struggling to climb the hill, and Jesus has him by a hand. And if you look carefully, you can see in his other hand, it hasn't really grabbed on yet. And I remember when I made this that I left their hands close but separate on purpose, which it actually would have been easier for me to make them together, but I decided I wanted to make the point that Jesus' hand is always there and offered to us, and all we have to do is grab it. And this guy isn't going to make it up this hill without grabbing both hands. So really, you've got to have faith in Jesus and give him both hands, and he'll hold you up. The verse, you probably can't see it too well in the video. We actually found after the sculpture was done, most of my other sculptures so far came from a verse which inspired the sculpture, but in this case, the sculpture came first. Anyway, it's Psalm 37, verses 23 and 24. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. So we thought that was appropriate. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you find inspiration to open the Bible. Thanks a lot.